Hello. So today I wanted to talk about why I buy silver and gold and other things, and why you probably should too. I'm specifically just want to talk about silver and gold, not the other metals, because these are the most popular and the ones that everyone's most familiar with. The reasons I buy them is kind of as an investment, kind of because it's really cool to have. Um, But the big thing is how much in value these things go up. A lot of people are going to throw numbers at you and inflation, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I'm just going to kind of give you an idea on numbers of why I buy it and what the numbers I've seen changed in just my working life. Um, it's worth way more than you think. It's a good place to park assets. It's not going to lose. My retirement fund lost 10% this year. My gold did not lose 10%. It had held steady. So did I make money on it? No, but it held. Same thing with my silver and all that. It held. I didn't lose money, but it held. So if you're looking for a place where you can park money that you don't have to worry about taking a loss, I know people that took much larger than 10% hits on their 401ks and their retirement funds than I did this year. And you know, I if anyone's old enough to remember the Bernie Madoff scandal, I lost a lot of money in that one. That was unpleasant. So gold and silver, you're not going to really have to worry about that. You don't have the volatility. I mean, they can be volatile, but nowhere as near as you will see in the stock market. To kind of put it in perspective, what I did was I ran the numbers on what I remember it being, and I went and I double checked what those figures used to be. So when I started working at 14 years old, minimum wage in my state at that time was $4.25 an hour. I looked up the historical because I remember it actually was $4.25 an hour. I look up what is the historical cost of an ounce of gold at that time. Now I remember it being between $250 and $285 an ounce. You look at the charts from that time, we'll say 290. So I did the breakdown. How many hours am I going to have to work at minimum wage to earn an ounce of gold? Okay. What that comes out to is 1.7 weeks. So in less than 2 weeks, if you devote every dollar you make at 40 hours, mind you, I did this on a 40-hour work day or 40-hour work week. That means you're going to devote 1.7 weeks, so less than 2 weeks at 40 hours a week to buy 1 ounce of gold. So we fast forward, it's 2023. Minimum wage in my state is currently $14.20 an hour. Okay? Now remind you, I'm not going to put a whole lot of inflation in there. We all know what's going on with that. But $14.20 an hour is what my current minimum wage is in my state that I live in. Okay? Now, an ounce of gold as of right now is $1,875.50. So you do the math on that. Now you break it down by a 40-hour work week. How many weeks do I have to work? The answer is 3.3 weeks at minimum wage. It's more than double. It's roughly double. It's roughly double the amount of hours that you have to put in now that I had to put in 20 years ago. That's a lot. This same 1 ounce bar of gold would cost me less than 2 weeks wages at 40 hours a week when I was 14 will now cost me 3.3 weeks now. That's a lot of difference. And once again, I'm using the minimum wage base because it makes it easier to understand. Don't value the silver and gold by dollar amount. If you do that, inflation will always mess with your head and you'll never figure it out. Do this by time. Because that's really what money is. Money is you putting a value on your hours of time. So just using minimum wage, this is almost a month. It's almost a month to earn now. Whereas it was less than half a month when I was a kid. That's a big difference. Makes me wish I had been smart enough to save money back then and buy more of this. Um, that's the big reason why I buy it and why you should too, because this is just going to go up. This will act as, they call it a hedge against inflation. It really kind of is. The other thing is, we're seeing a world that's moving back towards, in some places, a more solid monetary system. We're seeing some countries work against the fiat system and against the oil back, and we're seeing, for instance, in some some Eastern European countries are now backing their currency with gold. That means this is going to be worth a lot more soon, especially with other things going on. The other thing is, it's small, it's mobile, and you can always sell it for something. I have in my possession stock certificates for a basket company that doesn't exist. Found them amongst a bunch of belongings one time cleaning out a home. It's for a basket weaving company. Hasn't existed in 100 years or more. The stock is worthless. Obviously, it was worthless to whoever had it because they never sold it, never did anything with it. This is never going to be worthless. You can always, please don't do this, but you can always take it down to a pawn shop or a Cash for Gold and trade it in for some money. Don't do that. You're not going to get paid what you should. So that is a place you can park it, and that is why I buy it. Silver's a little harder to calculate, just because it's worth. It has such a lower dollar value, but I did the math on that too. So an ounce of silver in the year 2000 was $5.08. Now, as of this morning, an ounce of silver is $22.17. So we do the math on that, and when I was a kid, in order to buy 1 ounce of silver, you'd have to work 1.19 hours, right? It's not much. It's like an hour 15 minutes, right? Now you got to work an hour and 1.56 hours, right? So you're working, roughly an hour and 40 minutes. Not much, but that is a half an hour difference. And like I said, I'm trying to use this as a way to point out you can't really look at the dollar value because the dollar fluctuates so much. You look at this, that's a half an hour of my time that it's going to cost me more to buy it now than it did in the year 2000. This is half a month. Do that math for yourself. It may be different where you live, but I really think what you're going to find is when you look at how can I save my time? Instead of converting my time to dollars and the dollars being destroyed by inflation and other things, where can I put my money where it's going to just increase in value? This may be a long-term one, but honestly, you're still going to get a better return than you are on a lot of bonds and things like that. Financial learning is not something where I come from that we had a lot of. People weren't taught a lot of things about stock market, bonds, certificates, silver, gold. This is something that I think that everyone should get into and everyone should understand. It's helpful, especially if you study historically. In times of trouble, having these on hand is a good way to pay off things that you can't pay otherwise. Also, side note, I buy physicals. I don't buy certificates. That's just me. There's nothing wrong with the certificates if that's what you want. You can still use them as leverage for a loan, or you can sell them back to the company later on. You can roll them into your 401k, your IRA, etc. My problem is I don't actually see it, and I want to be able to actually see it. I want to be able to hold it in my hand, and if I want to do something with it, because the piece of paper is nice, but in certain situations, what good is it going to do you? Having this on hand is great for me. I think everybody should have a little bit of it, because like I said, it just goes up in value. It does. There's a finite amount of it in the world, and there's a lot more people that want things made out of gold and silver and platinum. I would definitely look into it. Like I said, I think everybody should have a little bit of it. If nothing else, it's freaking cool to own something that you always see in the movies and you see on the, in TV and things. You got a silver coin to play with. It's kind of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you got something out of those numbers. When I sat down and did that math, I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of difference. 2 weeks is a big time difference. And I hope this puts it in perspective. If you have any questions or comments or anything, please leave it in the comments below. I will definitely get back to you. So, thank you.